What is up, you guys? It's Monday, and that means it's Mail Call Monday with your host, that's me, Ryan, from Ryan Crystal's Reviews. So today, I have got two packages to open. As I get a lot of packages, I seem to collect them now, and I don't always get a chance to open, so I thought I would open them today in a new segment called Mail Call Monday. So our first package, which I believe came from eBay, which it did. I'm not exactly sure what it is, as I do buy a lot of stuff off of eBay, and I don't have my knife, but it's okay. So, one thing that's good was you package comics, always try to put them in some sort of stiff board. Cardboard, things like that. This one actually then turned around and wrapped it in newspaper, which is interesting. I think that's the first time I've seen that. So, aha. This is Captain America. I believe this is the third or fourth volume. This is number 16. Now, why is this an important book? I believe, if I am not mistaken, that this is the first appearance of the Red Skull's daughter. Let's see. Ooh, I don't really like how they did that. So this isn't a traditional bag and board. It's just the board, but the bag is just a regular poly bag of some sort. Yep. So, Sin, and she is right there, first panel, with crossbones. That is the first appearance of Sin. So, reach over here real quick, since we've already kind of looked at that. Now, I always like to put my comics in My Lights with a halfback. Doesn't matter if it's new, old, whatever it may be. I use the My Light 2s, the standard, which is got a 7 1/4 dimension this way, and then 10 1/2 dimension this way, and it's got a 1.5 inch flap. So for your newer books, you're going to have a little bit of white border on the back of that, behind that book, kind of like that. So you got a little bit of white border there. We're going to set that aside. So that was our first package. That's a nice book. It's a nice pickup. I think that's a nice book to spec on. There's a chance, and I've heard a rumor that she is going to show up as the villain in the new Captain America film, The Falcon. I don't know how true that is. I'm not even sure if it's written yet, but there is a rumor. It's a nice spec book, so I'll throw a spec in there every now and then just to try to hit one, because you never know when you're going to hit. As a comic collector, this time right now is very difficult because, you know, you've got a lot of people that have entered the hobby strictly for trying to make money, not really enjoying the hobby for what it's worth. They care about trying to just flip the books, make $1 here or there. And for someone who's a collector, as I am, it's become difficult to get certain books, especially in good grades, as high grade books have become ghosts, so to speak. So it's really difficult to get some of these books in good grade. I mean, that Captain America is in pretty good grade, but again, I'm specking on that she's going to show up. If she doesn't show up, then that's just a nice Captain America book. I didn't pay that much for it, so that so it wasn't that bad of a pickup. So this book I've been looking forward to getting. This is another spec book, another character. As I'm taking the tape off here, so you'll see a lot of people use this blue tape, which is nice. It comes off, doesn't really leave a lot of residue. It comes off pretty easy, that painter's tape. So this is a nice copy. It's not too bad. I believe it was a very fine when I bought it. This is Spawn number 9. This is the first appearance of Angela. So Angela then becomes Thor's sister, or half-sister, I think, in the comics, in Marvel Comics. So this is her first appearance. So again, this is another book to spec on, because there's rumor that they have tried, they have put out casting for a strong female in the Thor movie. Now, from my understanding, that movie has wrapped. So unless they add her in reshoots, I'm not really sure exactly where they're gonna add her in, unless she gets added in the Guardians film. But again, James Gunn has had a pretty specific outline for what he's wanted to do through these through his trilogy of Guardians, and this is going to be his last film. So, well, probably his last film. So we're going to see what happens. I don't know if this character is going to go anywhere. But again, this is a nice book to spec on. This is a really solid book. I got it for almost next to nothing. It's in pretty good shape, and it's nice to have in my collection. It's probably, I mean, it's up there, the very fine to mint category. It's not near mint. There's I got a couple creases on the spine, but it's up there in pretty good shape. So that's it tonight for the mail call. Well, let's see what we got. We got time for one more. I think we got time for one more. Let's do one more, just for fun. Let's do one more. Can we do this one without a knife? Let's see. Let's see if we can. I may need to go get a knife for this guy. We're gonna find out. I should have brought my knife. That's one way to do it. Just rip it off. Rip off the tape. Where is that? And usually Crystal keeps her knife up here, but for some reason it's gone too. There we go. I have no idea what this book is. Like I said, I get a lot of packages, and then before I know it, they've been sitting here for a few days. More tape, yay. And I'm like, oh, I probably should open that here soon. So again, this is a pretty popular one. They take a USPS box, kind of cut it up, place it over the comic. Again, it's really nice because in transit, you know, it keeps it from getting bent, which obviously we don't want to have happen. I really wish I had something to cut this with, but I don't, do I? Oh, look what I found. Crystal's knife. I did all that struggling for nothing. And I hope I didn't damage the comic. I did not. I did not damage the comic. That's always a plus. And I already saw what this is. I am glad I opened this one. Would have probably shown up next week, but it's nice to go ahead and have opened. Let's do this to the side as we clean up. So this is America Chavez, Made in America #3. Now again, this is another spec book. This is the first appearance of her sister. And there is, obviously she's already been cast. America Chavez has already been cast. And she's going to be in the Doctor Strange sequel, Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. And they've already talked about potentially extending her her use in the MCU and adding her to other films or having her own show. You got the Young Avengers kind of trying to like take form there. You've got Cassie involved in Ant-Man 3. You've got her. Kate Bishop involved. We've already been introduced to Speed and Wiccan. Now, obviously, with the end of, and spoiler alert if you haven't watched WandaVision, of course, if you haven't watched WandaVision by now, what are you doing? I guess if you didn't have Disney Plus, you can go watch it. But they're introduced at the end of the, well, not at the end, they're introduced a few episodes in, and then by the end, they are no more because they were a figment of Wanda's magic. But you get the end credit scene with her in the Darkhold, reading the Darkhold as her other form is just out making tea, and you get her astral form. See that again? It's a nice copy. You get her astral form floating up, reading the Darkhold, and you can hear their voices in the background. So they have set up the characters for the Young Avengers, which is really cool. I think if you would have told people 10 years ago, let's see, we're 2021, so 10 years ago, but in 2011, which was right around the time Avengers was out in 2011. So, I mean, even 10 years ago, if it hadn't been out yet or it was about to come out, if you would have told people, hey, 10 years from now, they're going to have Speed and Wiccan and America Chavez, which I'm not even sure she was created yet, so you wouldn't know that. I take that back. I think she was. It's I don't remember when her first appearance was, but that's besides the point. That's for another show. So if you would have told people back then, hey, this is what's going to happen, people were like, hey, we don't even know if this is going to happen. We don't know how long Avengers is going to last. We don't know how long the MCU is going to last. I remember back in the early days of the MCU, they talked about it just being 3 phases, and the story of Thanos and the Infinity Gauntlet was always there, and then once that was over, that there was a potential that was going to be it. And I don't know if that was like a Mandela effect type deal, because I go back and look at things that back then in articles, and now I can't find any information of it. I could have swore up and down that they had talked about that at one time, that really they were just looking at doing the 3 phases and then that was it, which never made sense to me, because if you get that far, obviously the movies were successful and you got to keep going. Like, you got to keep going here. Black Widow, and she's over here too, and now we've got Doctor Strange, and America Chavez is going to be in it. We don't know, is Angela going to be involved? Where is Sin gonna show up? Is Crossbones going to come back? We don't know, and it's a fun time. We've been unfortunate for the past year that we've had to sit on the sidelines and wait for everything to happen. But hey, at the end of the day, we're back in. We've got a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks left until Black Widow comes out on July 9th. That's not what those show, because those are old posters. Those show May 1st. Actually, both of them show May 1st. And so we're getting back to it, and it's an exciting time, and it's a great time to be a comic fan. Sometimes I wish that this hobby hadn't shot off the way that it did, and I wish that people would, not try to make a quick buck over these books, because as a collector, it's difficult, because a lot of these books, the prices go crazy because people all they do is they try to spec. Oh, well, you got this, you got that. I mean, when I first started doing this series, one of the first books I talked about was Fantastic Four number 94, which was the first appearance of Agatha Harkness. And when the show came out, before the show came out, that book was about a $30 to $40 book, right around in that range. Then the show comes out, and it was pretty clear and obvious that's who Catherine Hans was playing, although her name was Agnes, but it was pretty clear that's who it was. She caused that book, just by being on the show, that book then all of a sudden tripled in value, and you were looking at books that were in mid-grade shape that were going to run you $120. A 9.8 was running somewhere around in the 500s. I mean, it was just stupid. And it's difficult as a collector, because and not only for me, because I'm a completionist. So if I get a book from a series, I want the entire run. I mean, we've talked about Captain America here. I have the entire run of the first volume of Captain America, and that's something I'm very proud of because it took me a long time to do. And people may think, "Oh, Captain America, that's an easy book." You know, it starts at 100, it goes to 434. You only got 130 some books, whatever it may be. Most of them are $1. Yeah, but to go out and find them, it took a lot of time, and to find them in decent shape, it took a long time. So as someone who is a completionist, when I see a character pop up that they think is going to be in the movies or just the MCU in general, and it's Captain America, I'm like, fine with me, go ahead. I'm not selling my books, but at the same time, I know that, hey, I don't have to go out and shell out an extra 400%, 500% than what I would have had to the day before, because some of these books go from $2 to $3 to $4 in one day, and then the next day they go to 50 to 60 to 70 to 100, just like that. And you know, it's a shame, but it is what it is. It's the nature of the beast. It's the nature of collecting, and collecting high value items. Comics are a high value item, so it's just kind of the nature of the beast. So that's my soapbox rant for tonight. I appreciate y'all watching. Please like and subscribe, and remember, we are doing our 100 subscriber giveaway, and the way to enter is you need to be a subscriber, you need to like the video, and you need to comment below, and it can be any comment you want. It can be, please enter me in the giveaway. It can be, hey, I really like that book, hey, I've got that book. Whatever it is, and you like the video, you are entered. So we appreciate all the support. We hope that we can continue to bring videos to you all that y'all like. And like I've said in numerous videos before, 100 subscribers, I never thought we'd even get past 10. And we've made it to 100. So it's really awesome. I really appreciate it. And we will see you tomorrow, hopefully tomorrow, for our first episode of the Toy Box Review Tuesday. Have a great night, and everyone be safe, and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.